something unusual is brewing behind the scenes at Newcastle United. Between forced smiles and bold ambitions, the club appears to be walking a fine line that few can spot at first glance. On the surface, everything might seem in perfect order. But underneath it all, there's a growing concern that could shake the financial foundations of the Magpies. At first glance, it might not seem alarming, but what's hidden behind the scenes could have a huge impact on the club's plans for next season. And this story starts now. And while we get ready to dive deeper into this situation, how about hitting that subscribe button here on the channel? You'll always be up to date with everything happening at Newcastle United, exclusive analysis, behind-the-scenes updates, and breaking news. Always told in a clear and straight-to-the-point way. Subscribing really helps the channel grow and makes sure you never miss any important news. So go on, hit that bell icon too. This story is going to make waves. Of course, when we start talking about rules and restrictions, fans start getting suspicious. After all, how is it that giants like Chelsea and Manchester United keep spending billions without any serious consequences? Meanwhile, Newcastle, despite being cautious and staying within the Premier League spending rules, now sees clouds forming on the European horizon. This isn't just a hurdle to overcome, it's a real threat to the carefully built structure that the club's current leadership has put in place. Behind closed doors, the mood is one of caution. The club finished the season on a strong note, remained competitive, and showed resolve by holding on to key players like Bruno Guimaraes and Issa. On top of that, they've been investing strategically in the squad and infrastructure, pouring millions into the upcoming training center and laying out plans for possible expansion around St. James Park. But, as is often the case in modern football, what looks promising one day can quickly become a problem, especially when regulations from outside England come into play. And this is where the most critical part of the story emerges. According to football finance expert Stefan Borschen, former advisor to Manchester City, Newcastle United is set to exceed UEFA's financial fair play limits for the 2025-26 season. The revelation, published in an analysis this week, suggests the Magpies have gone over the allowable spending cap by around £43 million, based on their 2023-24 financial figures. That puts the club firmly in UEFA's sights, with a financial sanction likely in the next European cycle. This information comes directly from Stefan Borschen himself, a respected voice in the industry who's been following the developments of FFP both in England and across Europe. According to him, although Newcastle remain within the Premier League's PSR parameters, which allow losses of up to £105 million over 3 years, the situation is completely different when the club is judged by UEFA's European standards. Over there, the acceptable loss margin is just £50 million. And spending on wages, transfers and agent fees must not exceed 70% of gross revenue plus profit from player sales. This highlights the double-edged sword of Newcastle's sporting success. Getting back into the Champions League is undoubtedly the club's top goal for the season, but that comes with added scrutiny and pressure. UEFA, unlike the Premier League, has been far stricter with clubs breaching the limits, and there's no guarantee Newcastle will escape punishment. The big question now is how the club plans to respond and what steps they'll take to meet the new demands, especially in a scenario where Chelsea and Aston Villa are also expected to face similar penalties. Financial analysis like this rarely grabs the attention of the average fan, but its consequences run deep. A sanction from UEFA could mean anything from a fine to serious restrictions on upcoming transfer windows. And at a time when the Magpies are working to cement their place among Europe's elite, any financial setback could disrupt the rapid progress the club has made since the PIF takeover. By the way, if you're enjoying this type of in-depth content that combines behind-the-scenes info with clear analysis, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We always bring you well-sourced stories, based on credible figures like Stefan Borschen, and break it all down in a way fans can really understand. And if you want to give the channel an extra push, give this video a like too, it helps a lot. Back to the main point, UEFA has yet to officially confirm which clubs will face penalties for breaching FFP in the 2024-25 season. That list should be released in the coming weeks, and Newcastle are closely monitoring every development. The way UEFA handles the cases of Chelsea and Aston Villa will be crucial for the Magpies, who are hoping it sets a precedent they can follow. At this stage, it's all speculative, but behind the scenes, the club is already preparing for the very real possibility of a sanction in the near future. So, it's a warning sign, but not a crisis just yet. Newcastle still have room to maneuver, increasing revenues and a solid sporting project. But time is tight, and the decisions made over the next few weeks will be vital in determining how competitive the team can be next season. The board is already considering salary structure adjustments, strategic player sales, and even changing how certain assets are accounted for. Everything to avoid a step backwards in what is arguably the club's most promising era in decades. It's worth noting that Newcastle aren't alone in facing this kind of financial scrutiny. With the Champions League's new format and shifting economic rules across European football, every club is being forced to adapt. But for a project as ambitious as the Magpies, these adjustments could come with a high price, not just financially, but emotionally too, for both players and supporters. As always, passion for the club must walk hand in hand with the financial realities of modern football. If you want to keep up with this story as it unfolds with updates on every move Newcastle makes on and off the pitch, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. When the official news breaks, good or bad, you'll hear it here first. And don't forget to drop your opinion in the comments. Should the club sell someone, restructure contracts, cut spending? We want to hear your thoughts too.